Dallas, Texas, ladies and gentlemen, is on the 33rd parallel, or the 33rd degree of latitude. This is significant, as the highest degree in the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry is the 32nd degree. The 33rd degree is only awarded to those who contribute significantly to the furtherance of the plan or the completion of the great work being the bringing into the world of the New World Order, the one world totalitarian socialist government, ruled by illumined man, and the number of that man is 666. This is Dealey Plaza, and the occult symbolism in Dealey Plaza is overwhelming for those who understand it, who have studied it, who can recognize it. The first thing you will notice is that Dealey Plaza is in the shape of a truncated pyramid. The top is cut off by the railroad overpass. In other words, the pyramid has no capstone. You'll also notice that the large pyramid of Dealey Plaza is divided into two smaller pyramids by Main Street running through the center of Dealey Plaza, making three total triangles or pyramids, with the three eyes of the pyramid being the three underpasses underneath the railroad overpass. So you will notice that there are three pyramids and three eyes in the pyramids. 3 and 3 are 6 for the first 6. The second thing that you will notice are that there are 4 quarters of a Druid or Celtic temple of the sun, an exact twin of the Temple of the Sun, making up the outer courtyard of the Vatican. 1 quarter of the temple, representing one of the seasons of the year, is on the grassy knoll. The second, representing another season of the year, is just a little to the right of the center of the screen. Another one is just above Kennedy's head in the portrait in the right lower corner of your screen. The fourth is off the screen and is just below Kennedy's portrait on the knoll directly opposite the grassy knoll, which is so famous in the Kennedy assassination lore. This is significant as it indicates a branch of the mystery school of Mystery Babylon who worshipped the sun, or the god that is represented by the sun, which in all cases turns out to be the light or Lucifer, also known as Osiris or Ra. In all actuality, these are just symbols for the intellect. They believed that man was held prisoner in the Garden of Eden by an unjust, vindictive, and very cruel God in the chains, the bonds of ignorance, and that man was set free by Lucifer through his agent Satan with the gift of intellect, and through the use of the intellect, man himself will become God. Now, if you look at the quarter section of the Temple of the Sun, just to the right of the center of the screen, you will see just to the right of it an obelisk. The obelisk is the symbol of the phallus, the missing part of Osiris, the penis, the lost word of Freemasonry. And you will see that it almost points directly in to the parking garage opening where Lee Harvey Oswald was himself assassinated. Now, we already have 1/6 symbolized by the 3 triangles and the 3 eyes in the 3 triangles. The second 6 is symbolized by the 6th floor window where supposedly Lee Harvey Oswald fired the fatal 3 shots. In reality, he was not even up there, and you will see that later on in this documentary. But now we have 2 6s. What is the third 6? We have 3 shots and 3 wounds. 3 and 3 are 6. So now we have the 666, which is significant. It is the number of a man. And what is that man? It is the illumined man. It is the man who will rule the world in the New World Order. It is those who call themselves the guardians of the secrets of the ages, the initiates, the adepts, the priests of the mystery school of the ancient religion of Babylon. Now, also significant in this study of Dealey Plaza is the fact that Kennedy was killed on November the 22nd, 1963. November is the 11th month. Add 11 to 22, and again you have 33. The meritorious degree awarded only to those who do something significant toward the furtherance of the plan or the completion of the great work. Now you should understand that John F. Kennedy was murdered on the anniversary date of Pope Clement V's papal bull condemning the Knights Templar to torture by the Dominican monks under the Inquisition. The exact anniversary date, for you see the papal bull was issued on November the 22nd in the year 1307. Now if you subtract the year 1307 from 1963, the answer you get is 666. And folks, that is no accident. You figure it out. Now there's much, much more of the occult significance connected with Dealey Plaza here, but I'm not going to go into it. I'll leave that for you to explore and discover for yourself. For when you find out that the Knights of Malta, the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, the Ancient Order of the Rose and Cross, are all different branches of the Knights Templar, then you will understand that John F. Kennedy was assassinated in an outdoor temple of the sun by the Knights Templar in a combination probably of initiates or adepts or priests of the Babylonian mystery school from all of the different branches now controlled by the Knights Templar. At the time of day when the sun is most high, and in the ancient religion it was said that when the sun was most high, he was doing his father's work in the temple. The temple being Dealey Plaza, his father's work was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Now, John F. Kennedy suffered 3 wounds, one in the back, one in the throat, one in the head, the exact same wounds suffered by Hiram Abiff in the Masonic initiation. Hiram Abiff in the Masonic initiation has nothing to do with the master builder of the Temple of Solomon in actual history. But Hiram Abiff is the representation of Jacques de Molay, who was burned at the stake by the Pope and Philip V, and he was the Grand Master of the Knights Templar. The 3 wounds suffered by Hiram Abiff in the Masonic initiation, and in reality by Jacques de Molay, represent ignorance, superstition, and fear, which are symbolic of the church, the state, and the mob. The mob, of course, is us. What happened in Dealey Plaza was the carrying out of the revenge of the Knights Templar upon the church, the state, and the mob. John F. Kennedy is the first and only Catholic president in this country, a country established and ruled by the Knights Templar in the personification or in the publicly known branch of Mystery Babylon called Freemasonry. John F. Kennedy was murdered in Dealey Plaza by the mystery religion of Babylon, most likely carried out by members of the intelligence community who belong to the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, the Knights of Malta, the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, the Ancient Order of the Rose and Cross, and the Mormon Church. And the Mormon Church. The Mormon Church, ladies and gentlemen, is just another branch of Mystery Babylon, another branch of Freemasonry, and that is historical fact. The intelligence community of the United States of America was set up by a 33rd degree Freemason named Harry Truman, who took his advice from Bill Donovan, who was the head of the OSS, which was made up solely and completely of Knights Templar. William Casey was a Knights Templar. Allen Dulles was a Knights Templar. They were also members of the Knights of Malta, which is just another branch of the Knights Templar. The veil of national security was created so that organizations like the Central Intelligence Agency and the National Security Agency could be erected for the furtherance of the plan or the completion of the great work, the destruction of the sovereignty of all nation states, the destruction of all religions, putting all peoples into the shackles of slavery, and bringing about the one world totalitarian socialist state. The socialist and the mystery school's conception of heaven on earth, the utopia that will last for 1,000 years, no more wars, no more criminals, but to do that, they have to put every single human being on the face of this earth under their control for every second of every 24 hours of their life. The assassination of John F. Kennedy resulted in the destruction of the political will of the people of the United States of America. They lost faith in their government, and of course, it was a great blow to the Catholic Church. This is Dealey Plaza, folks. This is the dedication of Dealey Plaza. Dedicated to a famous Texas Freemason named Dealey, and that is his statue on the top of the monument. In the background, you see the old courthouse. John F. Kennedy came down Main Street in the direction that those cars are traveling and turned right on Houston. This is the corner of Main and Houston. Now, for much of this little tour of Dealey Plaza, I'm going to keep quiet and just let you watch and look. Directly behind the man walking, you can see a flag over a double garage doorway. That is the entrance to the underground parking facility where Lee Harvey Oswald was assassinated by Jack Ruby. It is on Houston Street, facing directly into Dealey Plaza. There you can see the obelisk, the representation of the phallus or the penis of Osiris or Ra. And on top there is the flame representing the light or Lucifer or the intellect. If you count the stones sitting on the base, making up this obelisk, you will notice that there are exactly 14, the exact number of pieces that Osiris was cut into and scattered around the kingdom, which Isis attempted to find and could not find the one part the phallus or the penis, the generative force, the lost word of Freemasonry. You're looking directly at the 6th floor window. What you see in the window, partly open, is just a box. Now, to the left of the obelisk, you can see a portion of one of the 4 quarters of the Temple of the Sun. There's the flame representing the light, Lucifer, the sun, the intellect. It is both ironic and extremely cruel that the mystery schools have placed their symbol of victory on the grave of John F. Kennedy, the eternal flame. This is the plaque on the bottom of the obelisk, and you'll see that it's dedicated to the first fraternal lodge, amongst other things. We checked with the Historical Society. It was a Masonic lodge of the Scottish Rite. As you learned earlier, Dealey Plaza is an outdoor temple. You can see behind the obelisk one of the quarters of the Temple of the Sun, the Druid or Celtic temple, also a symbol of the ancient mystery religion of Babylon. There you can see the play of light representing the battle between the forces of light and darkness. And for all you Looney Tunes out there, those are not UFOs. That's what you call lens flare. The lens of the camera is almost looking into the sun. We must have the flame taken off of Kennedy's grave, for it is disgrace. It is the symbol of those who assassinated our president. It is the symbol of the sun, the light, Lucifer, the intellect. Now, there's nothing wrong with the intellect or knowledge, folks. But when it's used as a symbol by these liars and deceivers and manipulators, then it takes on an entirely new meaning. They believe that we are all nothing but cattle, so stupid that we can never put this together. We can never decipher the symbology. That we are just beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent. Well, I served notice with this film that some of us are not cattle. That's the double garage going into the parking facility where Lee Harvey Oswald was himself assassinated. A patsy, a dupe. Now remember, if you get bored or dissatisfied or you don't think this is a Hollywood production, it's because it's not. This film was made in Dealey Plaza for researchers. It was not made to entertain anyone. If you're bored, fast forward the film or just turn it off. We're looking across Houston and across Maine to the old courthouse. And on top of the courthouse, we see the symbol of the ancient Order of the Dragon, also known as the Order of the Snake, the Order, the Illuminati. I have always been amazed whenever I visit Dealey Plaza and I see people walking around not realizing where they're at or the significance of any of the symbolism which surrounds them, almost overwhelms. Here you see the symbol of Osiris, or Ra, reflected in the pool. You will see the same thing in Washington, D.C. The obelisk is the representation of the sun, the light, Lucifer, the intellect. The obelisk is the representation of the sun, the light, Lucifer, the intellect. The reflecting pool is the symbol of the moon, or the mystery religion, the school. Osiris is the doctrine, Isis is the church. And you will see that the moon, or the church, reflects the pure light of its master, the sun, or the doctrine. Isn't it amazing how different the world looks when you understand the esoteric meaning of the symbols of those who call themselves the guardians of the secrets of the ages? The power behind all the thrones of the world who have been manipulating man throughout his history. The liars, the deceivers, the manipulators, those who claim to be the representation of the real truth, those who claim to possess the only mature minds and thus are the only ones capable of leading the rest of us, the cattle, the ones who claim that what they do is in the best interest of all mankind, humanity, the ones who have the philosophy that the means, whatever they may be, are okay if the end is good. In other words, the ends justify the means. If they believe that the end result is in their best interest and they have to kill or murder 2 billion people to reach their end, they will, with a free conscience. I have found the ones that I have met and dealt with in my life to be true sociopaths. No conscience, no morals, no regrets, no feelings, no emotion. This is behind the picket fence on the grassy knoll. And I can assure you without reservation that Kennedy was not assassinated by anyone who stood behind this grassy knoll, behind this fence. For we placed our camera at different positions, and no assassin would ever choose this location. That's the railroad tower. Now we believe that someone did stand on the grassy knoll and did light off a string of firecrackers or fire blanks from a gun to make people believe that the shots came from the grassy knoll. But no assassination could have taken place with anyone using a rifle with a scope on it, with a moving target passing from left to right directly in front of them, so close. There were people everywhere on that day. And some of the obstructions that existed on the day that Kennedy was assassinated have been removed. We're now standing directly in the center of the overpass. This is the view directly up Main Street. Kennedy came directly toward us, turned right on Houston. We're looking directly up Elm Street now. If we had been on the overpass on that day, Kennedy would have come down Elm Street directly toward us. Notice the streetlights do not follow the road, but are instead in the shape of an exact triangle. On all of the columns of the Temple of the Sun, you can see the pentagrams. This again is the obelisk, the symbol of the phallus, or the penis of Osiris. There you see the pentagrams and the columns. Pentagrams are significant in the mystery schools and in the practice of magic. And I'll let you go to your library and look up the meaning or the symbolism of the pentagrams. This is one of the buildings where shots could have been fired from, but were not. And of course, this is another. Now notice from the center of the railroad overpass to this building, behind it they have erected a pyramid building which is directly in line with Elm Street in the center of the railroad overpass. The pyramid is the symbol, or the most recognizable symbol, of the mystery religion. And there's the courthouse with the Texas state flag hanging on the pole, limp, as if left impotent by the events that happened on the 22nd of November, 1963. Remember the legend that Set or Typhon chopped Osiris into 14 pieces and scattered him about the land. Isis, grieving, went and retrieved the pieces one by one and found all save one, the phallus, or the penis of Osiris, the generative force, the lost word of Freemasonry, the representation of the sun, the light, Lucifer. Remember also that she created his phallus, made a penis of gold, and replaced Osiris on the altar of the mystery school with the golden penis. And that is what you will always find on the altar of the mystery schools in the dismantling of old Christian cathedrals and churches in Europe. They have found concealed within the altar where the congregation and the priests did not know or could not see, stone phalluses are penises, mocking the Christian religion. And while Christians were kneeling before the altar, they were kneeling before the phallus or the penis of Osiris. These men are the greatest liars and deceivers and manipulators in the history of the world, and while they profess benevolence, they are creators of the greatest malevolence that the world has ever known. Now remember this story, and remember the significance of the penis. For when Jim Garrison arrested Clay Shaw and they searched his home, this is what they found.
There were marble statues of penises on his dresser.
Folks, I want your journey here to be one of self-discovery, so I'm going to show you two examples of how the film has been manipulated. Look above William Greer's left shoulder. He's the driver. You'll see where the emulsion's been scraped off the film all the way up into the grass. You can see where we've drawn a red line to show you this. They're either hiding what really happened, or they scraped the emulsion off to make it look like something happened that maybe did not. The same on the top of Roy Kellerman's head, the passenger in the driver's seat. It appears that he has a bright reflection on top of his head. Dark black hair with a reflection brighter than the chrome on the windshield. Well, we've drawn a line when we put this on the computer to show you the real contour of Roy Kellerman's head. Again, the emulsion has been scraped completely off the film, either to hide the barrel of a gun or else to make us believe that a gun barrel is there. I don't know the answer, but this proves beyond any shadow of a doubt that this film has been severely tampered with, and there are many other instances. I want you to locate them on your own. I will show you where it appears that a bullet goes through the windshield. Now what we've done here, folks, is put this on a special editing machine that can bring a close-up of any portion of the film that we wish. First, you're going to see the driver and the passenger in the front seat, the two Secret Service agents, Roy Kellerman and William Greer, who are the two Secret Service agents in the front seat of the car. William Greer is driving. Now, I'm not going to say anything. I want you to watch, and I want you to learn how to see how this film has been doctored and manipulated in ways that we've never seen before. And folks, we didn't do it. This was either done by Abraham Zapruder, or it was done by the intelligence community at the National Photographic Laboratory in Washington, D.C., or it was done by the corporation known as Time Life, now Time Warner. I don't know who did it, but this film proves beyond any shadow of a doubt conspiracy. Beyond any doubt. And it does it better than anything else, any other evidence that there is. So pay close attention, and this will blow your mind. Now you're going to see it bouncing a little bit. Every time it changes frames, you'll see the frame bounce. That's so you'll know that it's a new frame, and it's also the way the Rank Cintel did it. This is right off the film, folks. Now those little jitters are not the frame change. This is a frame change. Every time you see that, it will show that you are looking at a new frame. If you want to examine it further, If you have a four-head a four-head VCR, you can put it in the pause or still mode, and you should be able to get a crystal clear, beautiful frame. Now I've slowed it down substantially so that you'll have a longer period of time to look at each frame. Again, if you want to look at one particular frame for a longer period of time, then please put your tape in a four-head VCR with a flying erase head and put it on still, and you should get a crystal clear picture that you can look at for as long as you want. Now remember, the larger the screen, the better you're going to be able to see the detail and what is really happening inside the front seat of the President's limousine. Now once more, I want to remind you, this film has been extensively altered. If you have sharp eyes, common sense, and a good brain, you can spot these alterations yourself. And I'm going to refrain from showing them to you or pointing them out. I've already given you two examples. And the reason for that is I don't want anybody to say that I corrupted your mind or that I made you believe that something is there or something is not there when maybe you wouldn't have believed that yourself. So it's up to you to see what you see, and it's up to you to find the places where this film has been altered. In a subsequent documentary, I will supply the exact points where the film has been altered. But for now, this is your journey of discovery, and I hope you have just as much fun as I did. If you have access to a video toaster, you can put this videotape on the video toaster, blow it up, and examine it pixel by pixel. You will be amazed at what you see. I do want to point one thing out to you, that it would take a truckload of Brylcreem or axle grease to make a reflection off of black hair or dark blue suit or dark gray suit that has a luminance brighter than the reflection on the chrome or on the glass or on the shiny surfaces of the painted car. Make sure you're watching the mirror, or excuse me, the window that is at the partition between the front seat and the back seats. Look through that window and see what you see there. And I'm sure that you've already seen the manipulation of the film in the front seat that has either hidden the fact that William Greer turned and shot the president with a gun in his left hand, or that was done to make us intentionally believe that that's what William Greer did. And don't be fooled by what looks like hands in the front seat, because on a computer you can't see any fingers, can't see any digits, can't tell their hands, you can't see the steering wheel. The entire image in the front seat has been totally manipulated so that it's impossible to tell what's really going on up there. Now, if William Greer didn't shoot the president, and they've manipulated this film to make it look like he did, and then furnished phony documents to me and many others, Linda Moulton Howe, one of them, that said that William Greer did shoot the president, again, more conspiracy coming right out of the intelligence community. For the documents that I saw while serving on the intelligence briefing team of the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Pacific Fleet when I was a part of the Office of Naval Intelligence. And Linda Moulton Howe was shown the same documents by a Sergeant Richard Doty inside the Air Force Office of Special Investigation building offices at Kirtland Air Force Base in New Mexico. Now watch very closely. You're going to see what appears to be a bullet shatter the right front windshield on the passenger side. That's the side nearest to you, close to the chrome frame of the windshield. Now it's either a real bullet going through the windshield or it's another example of the manipulation of this film, since what we have is a first-generation copy of the original. There's no way we can tell. There you see it strike. You can see glass flying. There you see it penetrating, glass flying into the car. There you see glass particles falling down alongside the car. Now again, either this really happened, it's a real bullet going through the windshield, and the photographs that you've seen of purporting to be the Kennedy limousine are not, or this is just another case of manipulation of the film. Now watch closely. You'll see that this section of the film was also manipulated. You'll also see clearly that a bullet hit Kennedy in the right front of the forehead temple area, that it exploded upon impact and threw Kennedy all the way back into the seat. You'll see where the wounds, where the emulsion was scraped off the film to hide the true nature of the wounds. And if you'll look closely at the back of Kennedy's head, there is no damage, no wound, no nothing. Does this represent what really happened? Or is it another case of manipulation of the film? We can't tell. Unless they let the public have the original Zapruder film that somebody's got locked up in a vault somewhere, we'll never know. But we can be assured of one thing. The film has been tampered with extensively, as you will clearly see. Bullet hits and explodes right front forehead temple area. You can tell the bullet was traveling from front to back as the mist of blood and fluid goes up in the air and backwards. Kennedy is flung backwards. You can clearly see there's no wound on the back of his head whatsoever at all. None. We put it on a computer, we looked at every pixel of the back of his head, we could see nothing. Nothing, no wound, no hole, no blood, no red pixels. Only the normal color of Kennedy's hair. Now watch how they manipulate these wounds. Blood and brain matter suddenly become as reflective as a mirror. They've completely scraped the emulsion off the film in order to hide the true nature of the wounds. This is the same film, folks, that you can lease from Time Life, or if you spend the time and the money that we've spent, you can get a copy from some source in the intelligence community just like we did. There are patriots within the intelligence community. Not many, I can assure you, but there are some. And it's not because an intelligence gathering organization is a bad organization, folks. It's because they've been infiltrated and are in the complete control of the secret societies, in particular the Freemasons, the group known as the Knights Templar, the Knights of Malta, the Order of St. John of Jerusalem, the secret society known as the Mormon Church, and several others. At the highest levels, they're all the same, and they are all belong to the ancient religion of Mystery Babylon. They all believe that Satan and Christ are brothers. And they're going to destroy the sovereignty of all nation states and bring about a one-world totalitarian socialist government. Look at the wounds on his head. Every copy that's ever fallen into the hands of the public is so bad, so deteriorated, that you can't tell any of this. And that's why we set out on our search. That it's ever fallen into the hands of the public is so bad, so deteriorated, that you can't tell any of this. And that's why we set out on our search. I was going to prove or disprove that William Greer shot the president, and what I found is a film that has been so manipulated, so tampered with, that the only thing that this film proves now is that there definitely was a conspiracy, and that Abraham Zapruder, or the intelligence community at the National Photographic Laboratory, or Time Life, now Time Warner, are part of the conspiracy. You make up your own mind, folks. I don't know all the answers. I've just got a hell of a lot of evidence. What you're seeing here now, you're seeing for the first time. Also notice that the back of the trunk lid has nothing on it. No blood, no guts, no part of Kennedy's skull. The bumps and little things that you see back there are part of the rear deck. They are supposed to be there. Jacqueline Kennedy was climbing out of the car to get away from the horror and possibly from the assassin. If you watch her hands, you'll see that every time she puts her hands down, she puts them down flat. She doesn't stop trying to crawl out of the car until Clint Hill, her personal bodyguard, a Secret Service agent, jumps up on the back bumper. I have no idea what he tells her, but he made her get back into the car. Now, those two bumps that you see on the rear deck lid are supposed to be there. They're part of the automobile. If you don't believe it, go get pictures of the automobile as it's going through the downtown area. There were many pictures taken. You'll see the same bumps, the same antennas. Everything that is there is supposed to be there. There's no piece of skull. There's no brain matter. Jacqueline Kennedy did not go back there to get a piece of her husband's brain or a piece of his skull. If she had something in her hand when she arrived at Parkland Hospital, it's something that she picked up from the back seat or that fell out of the president's head, probably into her lap. You'll also notice that the right taillight has been opaqued. The left taillight does not ordinarily show up when this is shown on television, and since nobody ever has access to the film, nobody ever sees that it's on. In fact, the driver almost comes to a complete stop during the assassination, pointing to the fact that if he didn't kill the president, he was certainly involved, because his training specifically indicated to him, and he was supposed to memorize and practice getting that car out of the kill zone as quickly as possible. His goal was to speed the car up as fast as he could, maneuver to get the president or whatever dignitary he was carrying out of an area that we in the military and the intelligence community call the kill zone. Now pay attention here, folks. Here you're going to see what appears to be a man wearing a hat with a rifle in the bushes on the grassy knoll. Now again, when we put this on a computer and look at it, it could just be the play of light through leaves and branches with a little bit of help from an airbrush or a knife on the emulsion of the film. We can't really tell, but it does look like a man with a rifle and a hat. I'm going to tell you right now, from examining this for hours and hours upon end, I believe that it's another instance of tampering. I don't believe that there's anybody there, and I believe that they've taken advantage of the natural branches and the leaves and a little knife work on the emulsion of the film. And there you have a man with a hat and a rifle. And it's gone. In case you missed it, you can back it up and stop it and look at the frame. In case you missed it, folks, there it is. Trying to stop it completely for you, and that's not working. That's the next frame. Notice the back lid of the car, folks. Now you're going to see everything again without my voice, without my comments. Thank you for purchasing this. Thank you for caring. And God bless you. I can't help it, folks. I've got to say one more thing. Where was the guy who said he was standing by the underpass and was hit by concrete fragments when a bullet hit the concrete structure that he was standing next to? And you'll notice that there were no cars on Main Street because those streets were blocked off for the president's motorcade. In short, folks, he wasn't there. A lot of the so-called witnesses are not witnesses at all. And I bet if you followed most of them around, eventually they'll lead you to a temple without windows called the Masonic Lodge. We've already done it. Again, thank you for caring, and God bless you all.
Well, I never thought things were the same after that. Vietnam started for real. There was an era of, I don't know, make-believe in the Pentagon and CIA. Those of us who'd been in secret ops since the beginning knew the Warren Commission was fiction. But there was something deeper, uglier. I knew Alan Dulles very well. I'd briefed him many a time in his house. But for the life of me, I still can't figure out why he was appointed to investigate Kennedy's death, the man who had fired him. Dulles, by the way, was General Wyeth's benefactor. I got out in '64, resigned my commission.
I never realized Kennedy was so dangerous to the establishment. Is that why?
Well, that's a real question, isn't it? Why? The how and the who is just scenery for the public. Oswald, Ruby, Cuba, the mafia. Keeps them guessing like some kind of parlor game, prevents them from asking the most important question, why? Why was Kennedy killed? Who benefited? Who has the power to cover it up? Who?
Who, indeed. Oliver Stone is laughing at you. And if you can't make the connection here, if you don't understand after having watched over 7 hours of instruction as to who's behind it, what it means, and what their symbology is, then I can't help you at this point. You're beyond my help. You're beyond understanding. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like more information on the mystery religion of Babylon, the secret societies that have infiltrated every level of our society, military, and government, and are now destroying this country from within, I did a series on my radio show, The Hour of the Time, which is broadcast on WWCR shortwave radio 7435 megahertz worldwide at 9 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Mountain, 11 p.m. Central, and midnight Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, every week, every Monday through Friday. Now, I broadcast this series, and at the current time, while this is being edited, the series is ongoing. I have no idea how many tapes will make up this series, for I am literally exposing 6,000 years of history that has been veiled and has remained hidden from the general public for all that time and even today. If you would like information on how to purchase that series of tapes, audio tapes, or my book, Behold a Pale Horse, or my video documentaries, of which this is one, or if you'd like to have information on how to join the Citizens Agency for Joint Intelligence, the largest and most successful civilian intelligence gathering organization in the entire world, call Stan at area code 602-567-6109. That's 602-567-6109. Or you can write to Stan and ask him for a packet of information. Write to Stan Barrington, B-A-R-R-I-N-G-T-O-N, Post Office Box 889, Camp Verde, Arizona, 86322. That's Stan Barrington, Post Office Box 889, Camp Verde, Arizona 86322. And so that you don't have to rewind the tape, I'll do it one more time for you. Stan Barrington, Post Office Box 889, Camp Verde, Arizona 86322. His phone number, once again, folks, is 602-567-6109. For those of you who are waking up, who are seeing the world as it really is for the first time, for those of you who have been helping me in this fight for many years, God bless you. I love you. My prayers are with you always. For the rest of you, you're going to get exactly what you deserve. You're going to be slaves in the New World Order. And you see that big tall thing on the video screen? You're going to get the shaft.